So today we are diving deep into DreamWorks' Rise of the Guardians. Remember that one?
Vaguely. Hugh Jackman is the Easter Bunny, right? Kind of a tough-looking bunny.
That's the one, and it's having this huge resurgence on Netflix. We found this great piece on CBR that really digs into, why this is happening now.
Right. So for everyone listening, our mission today is basically to unpack this. Why is a, 13-year-old movie suddenly a global streaming hit?
Exactly. And what does it maybe tell us about, what success even means for a movie anymore? Is it just the box office or something else?
It's a good question. The landscape's definitely changing.
Totally. So think of this as your quick guide to understanding why this animated adventure is suddenly back in the spotlight.
All right, let's get into it. So 2012, big DreamWorks animation, star power. But it didn't exactly light the box office on fire initially, did it?
No, not really. That CBR article points out it actually led to a pretty hefty loss for DreamWorks. Something like,
Yeah, the figure reported was around $87 million, which, that's a substantial hit.
Definitely. But and this is key, it wasn't like the movie was, universally panned or anything.
No, not at all. That's what makes this interesting. Critically, it did okay, right?
Yeah, solid. 75% on Rotten Tomatoes from critics. And the audience score was even better, 80%.
Right. So people who saw it generally seemed to like it.
And get this, another detail that kind of gets buried, its worldwide ticket sales actually did cover its production budget.
Okay. So maybe the loss came from marketing spend or distribution costs, that kind of thing.
Seems likely. So maybe less of a creative flop and more of a financial miscalculation at the time.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And I think for listeners, that's an important distinction. Box office isn't the only story, even if it's often the loudest one. Audience connection can be there even if the opening weekend wasn't huge.
Totally. Okay, quick plot refresher for anyone who missed it.
Yeah.
You've got Santa, Tooth Fairy, Sandman, and Hugh Jackman's buff Easter Bunny.
The Guardians, yeah.
And they need to recruit Jack Frost, who's voiced by Chris Pine, by the way,
Right.
to help them fight Pitch Black, the boogeyman.
Yeah.
He wants to basically wipe out children's dreams and belief.
A pretty cool concept, actually. Sort of like the Avengers, but with mythical figures.
Yeah. It feels kind of timeless, doesn't it? Protecting hope and wonder and all that.
Absolutely. That core idea has a universal appeal, I think. And the cast, as you said, was packed. Alec Baldwin, Jude Law, Isla Fisher.
It really was an ensemble, and CBR made this interesting point about the cast capturing a specific moment in time.
Oh, how so?
Well, Jackman was huge, obviously, but still very much Wolverine to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And Chris Pine was really hitting his stride as a leading man post-Star Trek.
I see. Yeah, it's kind of like a snapshot of Hollywood from that era. That adds another layer if you're watching it now.
Right. Maybe seeing those actors, hearing their voices in these roles feels different 13 years later.
Could be. Adds a bit of nostalgia, perhaps.
So yeah, 13 years go by, streaming happens, everything changes, and then bam, Rise of the Guardians just explodes on Netflix.
It's wild. Number 3 on their global top 10 movies list recently. For a film that old, that's impressive.
Seriously, the numbers are pretty staggering too. 5.4 million views.
And 9 million hours viewed across 41 countries.
Wow. After more than a decade, it really makes you think about how films can just hang around digitally and find an audience.
So the big question, like you said earlier, is why now?
Well, the CBR article suggests the timing is probably a big factor. It spiked around Easter.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Easter Bunny movie, Easter holiday, families looking for something relevant to watch.
Pretty straightforward connection, right? The algorithm probably helped push it too.
Sure. Seasonal relevance is definitely a thing on streaming.
But I wonder if there's maybe something more to it, like the theme itself, protecting dreams, fighting fear. Does that maybe hit differently now, watching it at home, maybe as a family, compared to seeing it in a theater back in 2012?
That's a really interesting thought. Maybe the intimacy of watching at home lets those themes land more personally. Less spectacle, more heart.
Could be. Maybe it offers a kind of comfort or reassurance that resonates right now.
It's possible. Films find their moment, sometimes long after release.
So stepping back a bit for you listening, this whole situation really throws a wrench into the old Hollywood way of thinking, right?
Absolutely. It directly challenges that idea that the opening weekend box office is the be-all and end-all measure of a film's success or value.
Yeah, for decades that was the metric. How much money did it make right away?
But this shows pretty clearly that a film can find a massive audience, generate huge viewing hours years down the line on a different platform. Streaming gives films a second, sometimes much longer life.
It's like delayed vindication. The CBR piece used that word, vindication, and it feels right.
Yeah.
Seeing it outperform brand new movies on Netflix, that says a lot about changing viewing habits. The journey doesn't just end after the theatrical run anymore.
Not at all. And it's not just Rise of the Guardians. The article notes this is part of a bigger trend. Other films considered theatrical disappointments have found huge second wins on streaming.
So the question then becomes, are we really seeing a fundamental shift in how we should even think about a film's success, long-term engagement versus initial splash?
It certainly seems like we need to broaden the definition. Maybe think about lifetime value or cultural footprint rather than just opening numbers.
Oh, and just a quick side note, the CBR piece mentioned Hugh Jackman's got that big worldwide musical tour coming up.
Oh, yeah.
So, maybe him just being generally visible and popular helps keep his older stuff, like voicing the Easter Bunny, in people's minds, too.
That's a fair point. Star power has long coattails. It can definitely drive rediscovery of back catalog titles. Makes sense.
So, wrapping this up for everyone listening, the whole Rise of the Guardian story is, well, it's a perfect example of this changing Hollywood landscape. A movie goes from box office to streaming sensation.
Yeah, it really highlights how the digital age is rewriting the rules of success and giving films multiple chances to connect with audiences. It's not just about that first release window anymore.
Which leaves us with the final thought. Maybe it's something for you to chew on. If this film could find such a big audience 13 years later, what other movies, or maybe even TV shows, books, albums, what other creative works that were maybe overlooked or underappreciated at first might be waiting for their own Rise of the Guardians moment years from now? And what does that potential mean for, the people who make the stuff and the platforms that share it?
That's a great question to end on. What hidden gems are out there just waiting for the right time, the right platform, or the right audience to rediscover them? Definitely food for thought.